But they crashed his plane into their boat and it explodes, and they think they killed him because they assumed they were on the boat.
Yeah, they had to have been on there.
Obviously, they couldn't have left the boat. Why would they have ever leave the boat?
I don't know. It's getting awfully close. It's gonna hit it. Oh my God, look!
But the boat blows up and they think they're dead. But
also, what insane like assassins that they put no legwork into their marks. Look, I have played the hell out of Hitman, Brian. Okay, I think I know my way around assassinating people.
Kyle, you
Just take that clip out
tapes,
right now.
All of these tapes are going to be evidence in a future court hearing, Kyle. That's all I'm saying. All of these episodes are going into the public record and going to be entered into evidence one day. Hello and welcome back to the 174th episode of Good Bad or Bad Bad, show where I share movies, television too. I'm your host, Mr. Brian Chiligo, joined as always the other host of this illustrious show, Mr. Kyle Hinton. Kyle,
we're going back to the well.
Back to a well I didn't even know existed.
Yes.
Until I love
apparently this guy has an entire universe.
There's like 7 of these movies, Kyle.
Wow.
We could do them for the rest of our lives, or at least for another few episodes. Today we're talking about
the sequel to an 80s classic,
Picasso Trigger.
Picasso Trigger, code name for a killer. Steve Bond is Travis Abilene, an undercover agent with the help of an explosive force.
Sequel to Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Point is, Hard Ticket to Hawaii, one of my favorite episodes that we did, one of my favorite movies we reviewed.
Absolutely.
Because it's insane. Has a sequel.
And Kyle, so that was my first note. Okay, so this is an Andy Sedaris film. This is Picasso Trigger. This is the 3rd installment in the series. I was unaware. Hard Ticket to Hawaii is the 2nd installment. What? There's a movie before it called Malibu Express. That, to be fair, though, I don't believe Malibu Express does not star the 2 main blondes.
That's the whole point.
Well, but I think it has other characters that carry over. I think the guy from the last one was...
The hair?
Yes.
Or no, the main dude, Randy.
The main dude, or whatever his name was. Yeah, Randy.
The guy with the bazooka, the 4 rocket bazooka.
I think he was in Malibu Express with some other people, and then they showed up in the 2nd one, and now they're carrying over, although Randy is not in this one. But I also, because I remember when we did Hard Ticket to Hawaii, there's a movie poster on the wall for Malibu Express.
That's
yes. Anyways, also there's a 4th and a 5th. There's one called Savage Beach, which is the 4th one, and another one called like Guns, which is the 5th one. And this is all in his Triple B series, which is Bullets, Babes, and something.
Boobs.
Maybe it's something else. I can't remember what it is.
Well, with all the editing that was done for this friendly, this YouTube
the
friendly
YouTube
version,
has a lot of cuts in it. There's a lot of cuts.
I don't have a jealous bone in my body.
Is that a fact?
Check it out.
Yeah. So we were unaware of this because we do like no research for this show. So when we did the Hard Ticket to Hawaii, we had no idea.
This guy was so far ahead of his time. Andy, his last name was
Sedaris.
He was like he was putting together a cinematic universe before it was even an idea.
It's true. Then we get the movie opens, get the opening credits. Most disappointing thing about this movie is it does not have a theme song
Hard
that
Ticket to
bangs.
Hawaii.
No, it doesn't. Specifically, it doesn't have that. We will find out at the end during the end credits. It does have its own song, but it's just not very good, so they don't use it like at all in the movie. Whereas in Hard Ticket to Hawaii, they knew that was a banger and they used it constantly.
Oh yeah, it's right up there with Drug Runners.
Yeah, it is absolutely fantastic.
It's a hard
But during the opening credits, I love we're getting all the people introduced, and then it says one of the people, it says John Apria as Picasso Trigger. I'm like, wait, that's a person? I did not realize that was gonna be a person. Apparently that is a person. We'll get into it. But then it is set up. We open up in this like dude's like hotel room or something like that.
They're in Paris.
Yes. And it's this guy like getting dressed and getting ready, and his assistant walks in with a VHS and puts it in the player, or beta maybe, I don't know, and puts it in the player. And this guy pops up, and his name is Miguel Ortiz.
Yeah.
Mi amigo, mi padrino. The plan is in motion. Within the next 24 hours, the federal agents responsible for the death of my brother, Luca Ortiz, will be dead.
He is the brother of the guy who died in the last movie, something Ortiz. I can't remember that guy's name.
Is he the one who blew up with the
I believe
rocket?
he was the one that got blown up by the rocket, I think. And now he wants revenge against the agency, which I didn't remember any of these details.
Like, it's clearly a government agency. They just don't tell you which one.
No, because they don't need to, Kyle.
No,
they know. They know what this movie is about. They don't need to explain things like what the agency is. It's the agency.
He had to go to Dallas on agency business.
It's just an agency full of hot people wearing very little clothing. That's all the agency is. That's all you need to know. But he's talking to Salvador something, who is Picasso Trigger.
Yes, that's his code name is Picasso Trigger.
Yes.
The Picasso Trigger is dead.
Alejandro Felipe Salazar. Gone but not forgotten.
But his full name is like Salvador something or another. And he's getting dressed, and I love that the main villain literally has an L on his chest. Like, the surgeon was really like, here, hold this L. But we find out he has a pacemaker.
Yeah, and which
that is
like,
not,
why is that? That's
not the scar you get for
no.
a pacemaker. I looked it up to make sure, and normally it's like a little scar like here, and then occasionally one there, but it's like a smaller.
Well, like generally they're supposed to be outside your rib cage.
Yeah. But no, they're like cut, and they put whatever. They like put a giant. And it was like, that surgeon fucked you up, man. I don't know what he was doing.
With your leadership, your support, we have taken the first step towards complete revenge. Your participation is most appreciated.
He goes and he explains that, or he's going to like a museum where he's
like the Louvre or something like that.
It's not the Louvre, but it's something like that. Whatever. He's going to this museum, and meanwhile we're driving around, and we also see these people in a motorcycle with a sidecar.
It's his assistant.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is his assistant. Yeah, you're right. So that was so confusing. Yeah,
his assistant's in the little sidecar in a motorcycle, and he's like giving directions and trying to act like. If you're in the sidecar of a motorcycle, you cannot look
badass. Like cool. No, you look like a dork and like. Look like a little kid. But anyway, and I love they get to the location, and this motorcycle just drives up into like the grass and just parks next to a tree. And I was like, France, the country with no rules. Congratulations, amazing. But then, so he explains inside at the museum that he's donating this painting,
this $3 million painting of a Picasso Trigger,
which is a fish. Yes, it's apparently a real fish. And he's donating it, and then he has this brief conversation with, I think it's Pantera. Is that her that's there? Yeah. Who we'll find out later is Pantera, Agent Pantera, and she, they're like talking, and she's like giving him shit because she knows that he's basically like buying goodwill because he's like running an international crime organization.
And he keeps being like, oh, you sound like you're a man living on borrowed time. Like,
it's amazing how just a few $1 million allows him to ignore that the Picasso Trigger is actually your code name. You sound like a man who's nearing his end.
No. Nearing a new beginning.
Like, he's like, oh, you're expecting your death soon.
Yeah. But basically the idea is that this donation is like him kind of like bribing government officials or something. That's kind of the idea, I think. But anyway, he walks outside to get a cigarette and gets fucking shot in the chest.
Immediately.
He was immediately blasted by the dude in the motorcycle, and then they drive off.
Shot them from the grassy knoll.
Yeah. He's just sitting, for real. He's just sitting in the sidecar with a rifle. It looks so ridiculous.
Is that like even like there's no scope or anything on the rifle or anything? It's just look
shot,
like
man.
I mean, it looks like a Garand old fashioned rifle. It's like
Yeah, he just blasts them, or doesn't blast them. I don't know. They never explain what happened there.
Well, no, they said like the spoiler. He didn't die.
Yes.
They were just like, it's probably some actor looking for a quick buck.
I can't believe it. Look at his watch. It's on the other wrist.
Oh, did they say
you
that?
just
I missed
hired
that line.
somebody to be him for like 5 minutes and you shot him?
Was that it? He got.
Yeah.
They killed an actor?
They killed an actor.
Okay.
It's like, hang on, wouldn't somebody like they have to go through it with death certificate and all that stuff?
Wouldn't people be like, hey, wait, this isn't that guy?
Identification? Yeah.
I think so. Well, I guess he's got enough connections. He bribed enough people that, he was able to keep it a secret.
See, this is where you want to burn the body beyond recognition.
Yeah.
Not that I'm giving an advice or anything.
No, Kyle would never give murder advice.
Good Bad Media would like to remind you not to take murder advice from a YouTube show, regardless of how satirical it is.
Then we cut, and they basically we're on a boat, and it's a guy in a banana hammock. I think this is Travis.
Yes,
is this Travis?
it's Travis.
He's in a fucking banana hammock.
Oh my
and he
God.
gets a call on his little satellite radio phone.
Yes, it like flips up. There's a dish is like rotating.
Yeah.
It's so good.
He gets a call, and it's somebody from the agency being like, "Hey, they're killing agents. Look out!"
Any clues to who did it?
No, so stay alert. We don't know what'll happen next.
Because it turns out that Picasso Trigger used to be an agent,
yes,
and then turned evil or something like that, and was running a crime
and
organization.
Miguel
Ortiz, yeah,
like he is going after the agents. He wants revenge for his brother's death.
For his brother's death.
So
yeah.
they have hit squad out on several agents.
Yeah, so he lets Travis know. Then we cut to that club where the world's least sexy burlesque dance is taking place, which is just two cowgirls doing the hokey pokey on stage for 10 minutes. I was like, is this who's? And the guys are like, yeah. I'm like, this is the least sexual thing I've ever seen. But I love, as they're cutting around to the patrons in this bar, the fashion is just
so good. It's incredible.
We have these two guys who are also agents. One of them is like this, like, looks like an accountant with glasses. And then the other one is this like muscly guy with like giant wing like collar. His collar is like it goes out to here. Then we're also introduced to the snuff film guy, who's like the older guy who who does snuff films or something, and then his assistant who looks like The Rock in that famous picture where he's wearing the fanny pack. Oh, because he's got a black turtleneck with like stripes in the shape of a necklace, and it looks exactly like that picture of The Rock. And
that guy looked kind of familiar. Like I've seen him in stuff before.
I don't know. He didn't look familiar to me, but I loved his outfit so much because he wears the same thing the whole rest of the time. But anyway, so then the two agents leave, and
they say make sure I got some special guests coming. They dropped a bunch of money at the casino.
Yeah.
Here, you can mark them with this. Treat them real special. Like.
Yeah.
Mr. Chavo, the homing device.
There's two guys coming up there, all right? There's a tall one, blonde, and a fat one, all right? Now, friends of mine. They just dropped a bundle in the casino. Give me $2, all right?
And then they put some tracking devices in a little like boutonnieres, and then put them on their suits or whatever, and they walk outside, and they have the most stilted conversation. These guys are terrible actors. It's a good thing they get murdered right away.
Hey, it's a long drive to the Palm Springs office. I think I'll take the back roads and make some real time.
Yeah, if our car can make it.
Look, the agency wanted us to look like a couple of real polyester hicks. Well, they went all away.
But then they get in their car and they drive away, and they're driving through the desert or whatever.
And a helicopter just chases them down.
Because of their tracking thing or whatever. And I love when one of the guys looks out and goes, "Damn, that chopper's got a bazooka."
Damn, that chopper's got a bazooka.
Which is a great line. It's a really good line.
Which, once again, is not the 4-rocket bazooka that I was promised.
Right?
From a hard ticket to Hawaii, which is the best part.
absolute bullshit. We do have a fun, goofy weapon later that we'll get to, or several actually, but we'll get to.
Catch. That'll give you a leg up. You're master of your art, Professor. Killing is an art form.
You're right. Killing is an art form.
But anyways, so they're like shooting at it. They can't do it. They get blown up. They get shot by the rocket and killed because they drive. They like get off the road, and so they drive, and then they like their car just sitting,
kind of stop
in the middle, and then get shot.
You want to keep being a difficult target? You want to keep moving?
No, you don't want to keep moving or get out of the car because that would probably be hard. Like if you get out of the car and split up or something, like they would have a hard. No, we'll just both sit in the car, not moving, and get exploded. Great, amazing. Then we cut to, I think, the restaurant from the first movie.
Yes, this is Edie's.
Yeah, where Edie is there. And in this restaurant, there's Ortiz is there, and some of the agents are there. And apparently none of the people from the agency knows what the brother of the guy they murdered looks like, because he just leaves and nobody recognizes him. Like, okay.
And it's not like he's not well connected in the crime world. Yeah. He absolutely is.
He's also a big like drug runner. Like he's absolutely like, I don't know why nobody knows him, because two of the agents leave Edie's restaurant and go for like a moonlit beach stroll and get murdered by these other two henchmen.
Yes,
who just pull out a silenced Uzi.
These other two henchmen are the most stereotypically 80s henchmen on the planet.
Incredible.
It's so good.
They're incredible.
The feathered hair, the blazers, the Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah.
It feels like you stepped into like a cross between Miami Vice and Magnum PI.
Yeah, it's incredible. And then so they get shot. They kill two more people, and they're like, whatever, they're dead. And then we cut to a boat, and finally our heroes have returned. Kyle, our buxom heroes have returned. Donna and Taryn are hanging out on this boat, and I love that they're sleeping in like Taryn is asleep in bed wearing like the sexiest, fanciest lingerie. It's just the two of them on this boat. So either one, they're fucking, or two, whoever wrote this is an idiot. And I think it's probably two.
Oh yeah.
It's like, 'cause you're delusional, dude, if you think women sleep like that when they're just like hanging out. But sure, whatever.
Okay, I'm up. Good. You know we can't be late this morning. No problem.
I was like, that could be fucking. We don't know. But anyway, so they shower and stuff, like extended shower scene. This is the first time I noticed the cuts where I was like, wait a second, what? This is cut weird. And then I went, because I was watching it on YouTube. I was like, I wonder if this is available on Tubi. And I went to Tubi and I went to the scene. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what's going on. We spent like 5 minutes watching her shower. It's what's good.
Hey, by the way, here's a wetsuit that offers zero protection.
Yeah, it's like a sleeveless wetsuit that zips up a little bit and doesn't cover like anything. Yeah,
it's like incredible. I mean, well, normally a wetsuit, it keeps heat in, right?
Yeah, no, not these
arms,
ones.
Particularly legs.
Nah, not these ones.
Yeah.
Not these ones, Kyle. But they go swimming, looking for samples for their friend who works at SeaWorld. We'll get to that in a second. But so they're not on the boat anymore. Meanwhile, the two henchmen show up with
not just, I think, is that a zero, like a like the Japanese?
No, it's like a biplane, or it
had the red like.
Oh, but yeah, but it's got like it's a propeller plane. It could be, I don't know, but they crashed this plane into their boat and it explodes, and they think they killed them because they assumed they were on the boat.
Yeah, they had to have been on there.
Obviously, they couldn't have left the boat. Why would they have ever leave the boat?
I don't know. It's getting awfully close. It's gonna hit it.
But the boat blows up and they think they're dead. But
also, what insanely shitty like assassins that they put no legwork into their marks. Look, I have played the hell out of Hitman, Brian. Okay, I think I know my way around assassinating people.
Kyle,
just take that clip out right now.
All of these tapes are going to be evidence in a future court hearing, Kyle. That's all I'm saying. All of these episodes are going into the public record and going to be entered into evidence one day.
Good Bad Media would like to remind you not to take murder advice from a YouTube show, regardless of how satirical it is.
Oh, and I love that also, right before they crash the plane and blow him up, Ortiz is there and he like is on the walkie with them and he's like, "Do it. It'll be sweet revenge for me." And it's such a great line.
Do it. It'll be sweet revenge for me.
Anyways, bomb blows up. They weren't on the boat, so it's all good. And then we get another assassination attempt. The first 30 minutes of this is like a montage of assassination attempts. And we're introduced to some like cowboy guy who's another agent.
Yes.
I don't remember.
I like to think his name is Agent JR.
I just called him Tex, but yeah, because he lives in Texas. But sure, JR, Tex, whatever, close enough. But anyway, so he's on his farm, and they show up, and they blow up his farmhand.
They're like, "Hey, go ahead and drive this out there. I'm gonna go and get like I don't know. You want like a lemonade or something?"
He tells his farmhand to go get some coffee and sandwiches.
Oh yeah,
is what he says. And then the farmhand's driving back to the house and just fucking explodes or whatever. Oh, then we cut to the girls get on the sugar train, which I think this was literally just they got paid money as a commercial for this like tourist attraction. Because I looked this up, it's a real thing in Hawaii called the Sugar Train. That's like a 40-minute like little like sightseeing train tour kind of thing.
That's interesting.
They get on it. I don't think you would use it to go a place. I think you literally use it to like sightsee on whatever. Maybe you could use it to go someplace. I don't know. But anyways, they get on this train and they hop off and make a good point to like say the name of it several times and show like the whole train several times.
Okay.
Where you is heading?
To the sugarcane train.
Hop in, let's go.
Yeah, I was like, they were getting paid money to advertise the sugarcane train. But then we cut and to SeaWorld, which I guess is where they're going. I can't remember if they show up there, but we're reintroduced, and this guy I believe was in Hard Ticket to Hawaii, ponytail guy.
Yes. He the flowing locks martial arts dude.
Yes.
Yeah, and his hair is braided in such an insane way.
Braided in a ponytail, and his outfit in this scene where he's first introduced, motherfucker is working at like SeaWorld. He is wearing a leather purple sleeveless deep cut V jumpsuit to work at SeaWorld. He looks insane.
Well, it's even more insane later when they're posing as fucking telephone repair people.
They go in as I had a note about that. They go into this office building as construction workers or whatever, maintenance people, and he's wearing a sleeveless deep V cut construction outfit. It's incredible.
Maybe that was just a thing back in the 80s, Brian.
I think they just knew it was funny and so they did it, but it's fucking incredible. But this first one is like a full like latex or leather. It's insane.
I do like how his office though has a window that goes out into the aquarium where women are just swimming.
Just hanging out, swimming around. But yeah, he's got a badass ponytail, and he works at SeaWorld apparently. Then we cut, and they talked to him on the phone for a minute, and they're like, we got your samples, but by the way, they're killing agents, or they tried to assassinate us or whatever, blah, 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 moving on. Then we cut, and Travis arrives at like some hotel, and he pulls up in his little red sports car, and I love the shot when he's pulling up to the hotel. It's just, you can tell there's just a giant spotlight blasting him, and it's like no other light, and it looks fucking terrible.
Whenever I was on set of Gone Girl, Kyle was on set of a movie once.
Kyle, you worked on Gone Girl?
They had a huge ass spot that was a 10K light.
Yeah. I've used an 8K before for a shoot I did, I think. Or maybe, was it an 8K? I can't remember. But it was something like that. We'd used it on a rainy day to make it look sunny. So it was overcast.
Nice.
And, it was overcast.
Yeah, they literally called it the sun.
Yeah. We had one of those. I used on a commercial shoot I did like a couple of years ago, and it turned it from an overcast, dim ass like gross day to like looking like a bright sunny morning. It was like holy shit outside. It was nuts.
Welcome, Mr. Abilene.
You are Agent Pantera?
Pantera is the name they've given me.
and this is where he meets up with Pantera, Agent Pantera. She's waiting for him in her like dressing gown or whatever in this ridiculous outfit. And they have a past. They fucked in college, I think he says.
Sure.
I thought it was high school, but he says we knew each other in college later. But I'm pretty sure in this opening scene they were like high school sweethearts or something like that.
How long's it been?
You were captain of the football team, and I was just another one of your conquests.
No. You were special.
It seems to me what this agency is for a couple of things. It is A, taking down drug cartels. B, just fucking like crazy.
I would reverse the order of those two things.
Yes.
Yes. I would swap that order of importance, but yes, that is absolutely the two things that are going on.
Whoa. So what does your agency do? Well, we get into dangerous shootouts with drug lords. And we're also a hookup spot.
We just fuck like crazy. Anyway, so he's chatting with her. Wow, she's hot. Wow, amazing. And anyways, a little bit of backstory for these characters don't really care about, but they come and become important later. They're kind of like the main characters-ish at the end. So then we find out that there was this was basically all Salazar's plan. The Salazar is Picasso Trigger. He was working with Ortiz, but then she explains that she thinks Ortiz killed Salazar because basically Ortiz wanted to do like a power grab.
Yeah, he wanted to get everything. Like, you know, you just take out the heads and you just power vacuum.
Yeah.
Well, Miguel Ortiz avenged his brother's death. What more could he want?
Power.
And so he killed Ortiz or Salazar to like absorb power and like cut off all the loose ends and everything like that. Essentially, is what they think at this point, or what she's telling him at this point. We'll find out some stuff about that later.
She was one of them.
I knew that.
They have sex. They go the next day. They go to like a bar or whatever. And we seen a couple times, I think at the hotel, they saw these two guys following them. It's like a guy in a red coat with like a beard and then another guy. And then the next day they go to like this...
The worst assassins on the planet.
Absolute worst assassins in the world. Because then the next day they're at this like little country restaurant in Texas.
They're meeting up with Tex.
Yeah, they're meeting up with Tex. And they're like chatting with him about this whole thing.
The second these two show up, Pantera's like, we've been made. Yeah. Like, we've been marked.
Well, because they walk in staring at them, wearing the exact same clothes they were wearing the last scene we saw them.
We've been made.
It's like, you guys are the worst at this ever. Holy shit. So she's like, we've been made. They're like, all right, let's get out of here. We got a plan. And him and Tex go steal a boat and drive away. Yeah. And then she steals a pontoon boat and also follows them.
And this is where they're doing a callback to a previous film that doesn't work because you don't have the same actor, which was the Randy character couldn't hit shit, which is why he wanted the rocket launcher.
That's right. Because, yeah, this guy also cannot hit shit at all.
Phoenix, Rabbit. Got him now. Rabbit, boy, you're going to get us killed.
He's the worst shot in the fucking world. He misses. He literally never hits anybody.
Concentrate. I'll keep it steady.
But anyway, so they get on this boat, and it's a pretty cool like location for a boat chase scene. They're driving through like this.
It's
swamp.
like a bayou.
Yeah,
almost,
like a bayou kind of thing, which I don't know if Texas has.
Probably in the east.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're probably right. Probably, yeah. But anyways, and there's pretty cool shots, except for all the helicopter shots are completely out of focus. They must have been pissed as hell when they got that footage back and they were looking at it and they're like, no, all of our helicopter shots are out of focus. But anyway, so there's a big chase and he can't hit them for shit. But luckily, Pantera is able to like get ahead of them somehow. And she has a...
I want to know what their stabilizing rig was because...
on the helicopter?
On the boats.
Oh, on the boat, yeah.
They're not shaky
No,
shots
it looks
on the
good.
boat.
Yeah, it looks good.
They're moving.
Sure. Yeah, they're clipping along. It looks good. Again, overall, mostly these films are shot fairly competently. They look pretty good overall, especially for like a low budget, action movie from the early 90s. Anyway, so she's assembling this sniper rifle that she has from a brief, like one of those like classic briefcase assembly sniper rifles. My favorite detail about this is she's putting it together. I don't know anything about this. You feel free to correct me if you know anything more. But she's building this sniper rifle, and the first thing she does is she pulls like the main part out and puts the magazine in. And that feels like the last thing you should do when assembling. No?
I'm trying to think, because like you would probably want to get in the barrel first, and then make sure it's a clean slide. Make sure it's.
Well, I just think that if you're fussing around with the rest of the gun, you probably wouldn't want it like at least somewhat loaded while you're. I would just think you would put the bullets in last and do everything else.
I'd imagine you'd have the safety on, but that's
sure, I get it. I'm just saying it seems dumb to me to load the gun first and then build it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I just find it's dumb that she never had a goddamn scope for this thing.
No, and she nails that guy though. But she pulls it out and she's able to snipe the guy that's shooting at them from a mile away or whatever.
Got him. No, I didn't. Pantera shot him from the barge.
And then the other guy, Tex, pulls out his giant fucking revolver and blasts the other guy who's driving the boat.
And I love the comedy he makes. He's like, oh, it's drifting a little high. Hit him dead center. It's like, were you ready to shoot him in the dick?
Yeah. Son of a bitch is shooting a little high.
Yeah, like, what were you trying to do there, bud? Because you nailed him right in the chest.
Guess you know you took my boat.
Well, this boat's for rent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, then, there you go.
Good day.
Okay, so they kill them all, and now everybody is reconvening in Vegas. All the agency is reconvening in Vegas to meet up and discuss.
Hey, we're having our annual drug cartel assassin / fuck club agency meeting.
Yes,
in Vegas.
Yes, they pull into this boardroom, and it's all just the sexiest people crowded around.
If you had taken this and it had been like in Caesar's Palace in like the Caligula room where it's just an orgy fuck fest, I would not be surprised.
No, not at all. They're 100% they finished this meeting and then they all just got naked and started fucking. That is absolutely what happened here. 100%. But they're all just sitting in this boardroom talking about like what their plan is, and they have this plan on Sunday. They're gonna bust everybody basically, because on Monday
Monday the cartel has a mission that they're gonna finish off the rest of their targets.
Yes,
the witnesses against his brother will be assassinated next Monday. Our plan will go into motion exactly at noon Hawaii time on Sunday.
So on Sunday they're gonna put in this plan where they're gonna hit all the other like members of the cartel like simultaneously or whatever, to like kill them or whatever. And then also in this meeting there's tension between Pantera and Donna, who Donna is one of the main characters from the last movie, one of the two main blondes or whatever, and they don't like each other. You can tell Donna doesn't trust Pantera. She's like, you're fucking shady, I don't like you.
Nothing personal, Donna.
Good, let's keep it that way.
Donna.
I believe Donna fucks Travis,
you want to join the Mile High Club? Well, we're 7 miles.
Oh, this is before the plane. This is when in the hotel that they're in, or whatever, in Vegas, and they have sex. Which this gets completely cut in the YouTube version.
Oh, it does.
And this is another version.
Great.
I went and looked back because in the YouTube version they're like talking, and she's like giving him shit about fucking Pantera, and then he turns around and you can tell she starts taking her dress off in the YouTube one, but then it's just like hard cuts to like Friday or what, like it cuts to like a title card. In the real version there's like a 2-minute sex scene here where they just have sex in the hotel forever. But then they land back in Hawaii and they're on the golf course with this guy that's golfing. Well, the guy that's golfing is Andy Sidaris, the guy who putts the super long putt and
the
makes
90-foot.
Yeah, and I love it because he putts it and he walks away and he like lights a cigarette and tosses his lighter all before it goes in. It's a pretty fun little scene. But that I looked it up. That's Andy Sidaris. That's the writer, director, producer, all of that sort of stuff. Somebody, I think it's Donna, is in the plane with Travis, and this is when they join the Mile High Club. And this makes no sense because he says to her, this line, I was like, what? He says,
well, since you got that straight, how would you like to become an honorary member of the Mile High Club?
And she goes, we're 7 miles up. And he goes,
We're 7 miles up.
And we'll do it. it 7 times.
And I was like, I don't think that makes sense.
No.
I was like, I feel like that you would only have to fuck 1/7 of the time. Like, if you're 7 miles up, if the math is having sex at 1 mile high is joining the Mile High Club. If you're 7 miles high and you want to join the Mile High Club, at least in my opinion, you only have to have 1/7 of the sex.
time.
So you got to like thrust a few times and then you're good.
I got a feeling like there's like Zach Galifianakis like math and shit going to my head.
At 1 mile high is joining the Mile High Club. If you're 7 miles high and you want to join the Mile High Club, at least in my opinion, you only have to have 1/7 of the sex. So you got to like thrust a few times. Also, I want to know this, Kyle. If there are any pilots out here, I have to know. This plane is tiny.
Yes.
This is a tiny little private jet that like they're sitting in it like the walls are like, it's a tiny plane. Would that pilot have felt them fucking? Would the plane be I have to know, Kyle. I have to know. If they were vigorously going at it on a plane that small, would the pilot be like, God damn it? He's like, we're hitting some turbulence. Oh no, fuck. God damn it. Now I have to clean the back of the plane again.
It's guaranteed it's a chartered flight. And it's large enough for it to need probably like I think most chartered flights are regardless you have to have a co-pilot anyways.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure there's a flight attendant. There's 3 people on this
I would
flight.
love the camera just flips around. There's a flight attendant and just like sitting at the other side of the cabin, like, oh fuck, oh my god.
So would you guys like coffee? Or?
Do you like your peanuts now or later?
Well, since you got that straight, how would you like to become an honorary member of the Mile High Club?
Travis, we're 7 miles up.
And we'll do it 7 times.
Oh, and by the way, Donna's smoking in a flight.
Yes.
In flight.
Yeah, she's absolutely smoking on this tiny plane because it was still. To be fair, it is like a little private plane. So even today, I think depending on certain planes, you can smoke if it's like your plane or whatever.
Which this is what gave us the idea that Salazar's not actually dead. Because she lit her cigarette with her watch. She has a watch lighter.
Yeah, and he's like, wait a second. The watch is on the wrong hand in the pictures of him dying.
How the fuck did you put this together? But
yeah,
okay.
It makes no sense.
I can't believe it. Look at his watch. It's on the other wrist.
But that's the trigger. That's the thing that triggers Travis to realize that Salazar wasn't actually killed.
Picasso triggered Travis.
Also, then we cut back to the club because there's a little subplot where the 2 cowgirls are the snuff guy and the Rock are
wants,
like
they want to
recruiting them.
they want to recruit them into their snuff like thing.
Well, they don't know. They think
it's under the pretense of like, hey,
come
you're
work
gonna
at
get
our
more
club.
money with us and have more freedom for your act and stuff like that.
Yeah, but anyways, I love there's this little detail I have to talk about where as they're leaving, they're like, oh sure, that sounds good, and the women are walking out. The Rock guy, the guy in the turtleneck, tries to hand one of them a glass of champagne. But he's holding it the most insane way I've ever seen a person hold. He's holding it like this.
Oh, it's so weird.
It's between his middle finger and his.
Hold on a minute, girls.
You don't have time for groupies.
You girls have a very stimulating act. Have you ever...
And I love that every woman in an Andy Sidaris film bathes the way I imagine if you reincarnated a Greek statue would bathe, where they're just like, it's like...
Oh my god!
No, not a way that humans bathe. It's just very funny to me.
Andy Sidaris is like, yeah, now go ahead and suds up some more.
Then, meanwhile, Travis and Donna and them go and meet up with the professor, who's like the Q of this movie.
Yes.
Well, Professor, this is certainly a beautiful view. Well, you got to pay the price for paradise.
Yes, he just creates a bunch of crazy ass contraptions.
He gives them an explosive RC car.
When you attach the explosives, this car takes on a whole new meaning.
An explosive boomerang, which is the dumbest fucking... We'll get to it in a second.
It's very versatile and studied.
and then
it's not even an explosive boomerang. It's a boomerang
with a
you
bomb.
attach explosives onto.
So stupid. We'll get to it.
I mean, I guess you can say the same thing for the RC car.
Yeah, that's true. And then a special crutch, what they don't explain what it does yet, but he has this crutch, and he's like, here, it's your secret weapon. And we'll find out what all this does later, but he gives them this crutch. Also, meanwhile, in the middle of this, we cut randomly for no reason to a workout montage with Edie. and Ponytail. And she's just working out, we're staring at her butt, and then he shows up and she gets her shirt off, and then the scene ends and nothing, it's insane. It's insane. It makes no sense. Also, there's this weird moment where she sits up and she covers her chest, and then he starts taking her shirt off, and she goes, oh, that's right, I wasn't supposed to do that yet. Puts her arms down, he takes her shirt off, then she covers her chest again, and it's so weird. It's like nobody knew what they were supposed to be doing.
That's not the point, Brian.
Behave like 8
That's not the point of this movie.
That's true. You're not wrong. That is not the point of this movie at all. It's definitely not true. Or it's definitely true.
It is. Look. All right, I don't care how you act in this scene. Just take off your goddamn top.
Also, the super jacked agent is the guy who's just nothing but muscles, is working with the 2 cowgirls to help bring down the mafia.
Dude, this guy is ripped like you wouldn't believe.
So fucking jacked. And you can't necessarily tell when he's wearing like normal clothes. He looks big, but like...
Oh, yeah. But he comes out later in this like wrestling...
He's oiled up.
Holy shit.
He is 100% like a bodybuilder, like a competition level bodybuilder. It's insane.
Dude, just chiseled from marble.
It's insane. Anyway, so then it's the next day where they are doing the show for the investor, or the guy who looks like John fucking Cena.
Yes.
He's sitting and watching the cowgirls do their show, and the snuff film guy's like, so what do you think? He's like, yeah, it's pretty good. And I thought the whole thing was they're supposed to come up with a new show. They do the exact same show.
They do the exact same thing. The other thing I was a little disappointed are they have prop guns that are part of the show. They didn't incorporate those into the assassination.
No, because then at the end she's like, all right, for our next song, I got to get out a banjo, and then pulls out a rifle or shotgun. And just, I was like, what?
And now for a little banjo music. Okay, you turkeys, freeze!
You have guns already. It would have made so much sense when they're doing the act at the end. They pull the gun out and but no. But anyways, so they pull out their guns, and then the guys at the table pull out their guns, and a fucking shootout breaks out. And they kill all of them.
Patty Cake gets like...
I thought she got fucking domed.
I thought she was domed.
Yes,
yeah,
I thought she was dead. But no, she gets grazed by the bullet. And I love they kill 2 of the guys, and then the 3rd guy's still alive. And then finally, Jacked Muscle Man comes out behind the stage.
Immediately destroys this guy.
Go to hell.
I was like, what were you doing, dude? Did you not hear all that gunfire? You're just like hanging out.
He was busy oiling up.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not ready yet. You guys, you had another minute in your number. God damn it. Yeah, but he comes out and just beats the shit out of the John Cena or one of the other guys. And so now they're all dead. Those guys are all dead, and they took care of that. He's like, I'll have to call the cleanup guy or whatever. Then we cut... we're at the. This is where the maintenance, Edie and
yes, they're there as telephone repair people, and they're like, "Hey, we're here from the telephone repair company. Look, we got a trouble ticket and everything."
Yeah. We're just taking care of business. Edie, could you step this way, please?
Nice hair, huh?
Gentlemen are under arrest. You have the right to remain. Oh!
Now ignore my just ripping body and everything.
My deep V,
my sleeveless
maintenance outfit. But then they run into these two guys that are in karate gis for some reason.
They're in karate gis and have like guns.
It makes no sense. And they get into a fight with these guys. Edie is useless like this whole time until later. But there's a great moment.
There is a great moment where like one of the dudes puts him into a
I don't know it's some wrestling move. I'm sure. Yeah.
But they put him into like a lock that in wrestling, you know, it's you bend somebody backwards under your legs.
He's face down, like he's facing the ground with his legs being held by. I mean, you'll see it obviously, but
it has a name. I just
don't know what it is either. But then he's able to get out of that.
But there's a point where he's like, Edie, I'm fucked up right now. I am totally screwed. Get the gun.
Yeah, and she just fails entirely and gets knocked out.
Edie, get the gun!
But then he's able to get free and like curls up and rips the guy's eye out.
He got those abs working out.
Yes. He rips the motherfucking guy's eye out. It's incredible. And then they get into the office and he barricades the door so they can do whatever they're gonna do. But then a guy shoots through it.
So he beats both of the dudes. One dude he knocks out, and the other dude he gouges his eyes out.
Yeah.
Does not go to Edie to make sure she's all right.
No, just leaves her unconscious on the floor. Absolutely. He goes into this office, barricades the door because this office obviously has an old-timey fucking barricade.
Failed his perception check massively because the guy's in the room with him is like, hey, I was like in the corner.
My God, yes.
And you didn't even notice me.
He barricades the door, turns around, and then gets kicked in the face by a guy who's standing right there. What are you doing? But he beats that guy up, throws him out the fucking window.
And we get an amazing dummy shot.
I wish we got longer. It's a very short dummy shot. I was hoping we'd see it like fall and hit the ground. We only see it for a second, but yes, good dummy shot. Then the guy his eye ripped out is alive.
Breaks through the wall.
Shoots a bunch of holes through the wall and slams through it like fucking Kool-Aid Man. And then they fight, but then luckily, as he's about to kill him, Edie is able to regain consciousness and blast that guy and kill him, I think is what happens there.
Yeah.
Don't even blink!
There's a great moment, though, where he dives... Ponytail dives like behind like a table, and the guy that came through the wall is shooting at him. And did you notice he's like shooting this table that has like glasses on it and they're exploding, but they couldn't squib each of the glasses at the same time. There's like 8 jump cuts. It like, oh God. And you can see Ponytail like moving like cut like weird in the background. And every time a glass explodes, it's a different cut of film. It looks fucking terrible.
Ugh.
Anyways, he gets blasted, and great, amazing. Then we cut to the beach, and they're chasing. This is where Donna and Taryn.
Yeah, they're after Miguel here.
Yes, and they're on their dirt bikes. Well, they're chasing the two henchmen first.
Okay, yeah. So this is the Miami Vice kind of dude with the blazer. That's my way of identifying him. It's like,
and they kill the first guy. They just blast him. They just shoot him. But then the second guy drives away, and they're chasing him. And then he like hides behind like a berm.
This is where we get Donna's affinity, her favorite weapon in this movie, a freaking harpoon gun.
Oh, not yet. Wait, no. Well, that's how she kills Miguel. Not that guy. I'm talking about the boomerang Kyle. We haven't talked about the fucking boomerang kill.
Why am I forgetting this?
He hides. They chase that second henchman, and he hides behind a hill, and they're like looking for him.
In my
he's over
defense,
there.
everybody gets on a dirt bike.
Yeah, it's chaos. It's not. I mean, it doesn't really make sense.
He's behind a sign.
Yeah,
and they throw a boomerang, and they're just like, "Here's a boomerang. Let's put some explosive.
Stick a block of C4 to it.
It just looks like CO2 canisters.
Yeah, and then they throw it. And here's the thing, Kyle. The point of a boomerang, right? At least as far as I understand it, that makes it cool is one, it's aerodynamic. You throw it very accurately, but also it like comes back, right? Like it's part of the thing
That
it
is
does.
if it's thrown to come back.
Right, if it's thrown to come back. But here's the thing that annoys me about this movie is they get this. Obviously, it's very dumb that they get a boomerang and then just slap a piece of C4 on it. But then the way they use it, even if you're gonna do that, at least throw it and the guy thinks you missed, right? You throw it at him and he's like, nah, you guys fucking suck. And then it goes whoop and hits him in the back and he explodes. That's the gag you do with an exploding boomerang. That's not what they do in this movie. She throws it at him. Might as well throw a grenade. It hits a sign and he explodes. You literally may as well have just thrown a grenade. It's literally pointless. It's literally pointless.
Boy.
So fucking stupid. But then also, so they kill those two guys, and then meanwhile, Ortiz just taking a nice stroll on the beach with his henchmen. They're just taking a nice evening stroll on the beach.
He gets a pager message, or if somebody gets a message being like,
they're killing us all.
They're killing everybody. He goes and finds his sweet pager from the 80s, because it's the 80s.
Yeah, and they run back to his beach house or whatever, him and his henchmen. And his first henchman comes out, and he's even the henchmen are hot in this movie. He's got little like hot shorts and like a tight ass tank top. And she's trying to, Taryn, I think, is trying to kill him with like, she uses the RC car. And ramps it through the paper walls.
And a beautiful explosion happens.
Yeah. So she thinks she killed him, and she starts going in, but then they come out and they're still alive, and they start shooting. Well, she kills one of them. She shoots a guy, and then the guy, the hot shorts guy, is still alive, but he's all singed, and he comes out and he shoots Taryn. And like, oh no, and then he walks up to finish her off, but she had a bulletproof vest on.
Good thing I was wearing my vest.
Which is literally just like a denim vest that is bulletproof.
No.
And flips around and kills him. It's incredible. Oh my God. Then for some reason, Ortiz dirt bikes out of the house to escape. And
why did they have a dirt bike in there?
I don't know. And then for even more mind-boggling reason, Donna swam up to the house.
Yeah. Why?
What? Why did she do that?
Okay.
But she's on the beach where he ends up coming out of the ocean with her spear gun. And he starts shooting at her and then hides behind his dirt bike. And this is where she has an explosive
She
spear
puts
gun.
explosives on the harpoon, the spear.
Yeah.
Fires it. It embeds into the seat and then blows up in a glorious explosion.
It's incredible. Now Travis and Pantera are going to take down
Salazar, who they just kind of know where he's at.
They just realize where he is.
They just know where he's at.
And assume he's alive and yeah, whatever.
Good luck, Travis.
But he rolls inside and he's
on crutches.
It's so stupid, Kyle. It's so stupid. It drove me insane. You give him this crutch, which is like a secret weapon, right? So he like limps up. And then he walks into the room with Salazar. And what you think he's going to do is like monologue and then like at the last second, pull the crutch up and shoot him, right? But no.
It was disguised to have the element of surprise.
But so what do, Kyle? You sit down, you pick up the crutch, and you slowly load it full of shotgun shells in front of the guy you're trying to kill.
Not only that, it's also laser. It has a laser on it that is very obvious.
What is the... Oh my God, it's so stupid. Oh my God. And then we find out...
It's the equivalent of yelling surprise attack.
Yes, and then we find out, though, it has this extra feature that we'll find out later, because he shoots the laser at him, and a little number pops up on the crutch. And he's like... And he says in that moment... way more radiation in here than you would expect from that security camera. Okay, whatever.
There's an awful lot of radiation in this room. More than from that TV camera.
And then, well, that's not what the number is. We'll find out what the number is later. And then he tries to shoot him, and a giant bulletproof plane of glass
just drops down.
And I've seen enough for you, asshole.
So stupid. And the camera starts shooting rockets at him. It's insane. He's able to get away, and he kind of runs away. And
he almost shotguns her.
Pantera runs in and he almost blows her away. And then she walks up and they're like, embrace. And it turns out she was evil.
Yep, she pull out a knife.
Okay, there was no setup for this at all.
Not at all.
I guess she was talking to Salazar in the beginning, but it didn't. Anyways, but she's evil. And then she
gets fucking harpooned from behind.
In the chest, and Donna is just standing behind her like, I told you that bitch was evil.
Oh, yeah, I knew. I 100% knew.
He says it like 4 times. Like, no, I knew she was evil. Shut up, I knew it.
She was one of them.
I knew that.
You knew that.
I knew that.
She was working for Salazar the whole time.
I knew that.
You knew that.
Yeah, I knew that.
Anyways, and then so they go away and they're trying to find Salazar. Again, he misses every shot and everything. He's trying to shoot, he just can't hit shit because he gets in a hovercraft.
Yes, and with a helmet.
Yeah,
so we can have a stunt double do all this.
Yes, and also because it's not actually Salazar again, some other henchman that he paid to go die for him, who drives around in this hovercraft and he gets in a jet ski.
Dude, I do like how this guy in the hovercraft is like. Whips out a gun at some point, and it reminds me once again of GTA San Andreas, where you get on the hovercraft and you do a drive-by.
It's so ridiculous. But anyways, they're driving around in this thing. There's a shootout, and he can't hit shit. And he even gets off of his thing, and they're both sitting still. He's like sitting in the ocean aiming.
It's like, dude, he's like maybe 20 feet away from you.
Not moving. Nobody's moving, and he like still can't hit him. But luckily, Donna is on the beach with another explosive spear gun shot. From the beach, she just chunk, sticks it in.
Blows up the
hovercraft. Great. Incredible. And they think they won. They're like, yay, we did it, amazing.
But what if that wasn't the real Salazar?
That's what she says. She's like, it's a good thing the real Salazar's dead now. And he's like, wait, is he?
At least the real Alejandro Felipe Salazar's finally dead.
And then he grabs his crutch.
Yes.
And they explain this after this scene, and I'm glad, because I did not understand what the fuck was happening here.
All I knew is they was tracking his pacemaker.
Well, that's what they say after this. But initially, I had no idea what was going on, because he sets up the crutch like a mortar.
Yeah.
And then he puts a rocket in it, and then he hits the button, and the same number from earlier pops up. And he shoots this rocket, and it goes flying through the air, and Salazar turns around and is like, oh, fuck. Gets blown up by the rocket, and then it cuts to them celebrating like at the restaurant the next day or whatever, and they're like, how did you know that Salazar was alive still? He's like, it was a hunch, and luckily I coded the tracking device in the crutch to the energy signal from the pacemaker,
which I guess is radioactive
or something. I was like, whatever.
Then how did you know the real Picasso Trigger was still alive?
Well, you see, I had a hunch. So I set the computer to the coordinates on the pacemaker. The homing device did the rest.
Somehow the pacemaker that he had was what the missile used to track him, and that's how they knew and killed him, whatever. Cool, great, amazing.
We couldn't have done it without you.
Professor, you have fantastic instruments.
You noticed.
And they're like, yay, we did it. Good job, everybody. We killed all the villains. And then the credits roll. And there is a song. There is a Picasso Trigger song. It's just not that good. I still think this movie.
I still think it's good bad. It's not nearly as good as Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
No, absolutely not. There's a reason that everybody has heard of Hard Ticket to Hawaii and not everybody has heard of Picasso Trigger and some of the other ones. But it's got a lot of similar goofy elements.
Yes.
It's just not as good as Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
I think I may have mentioned this in Hard Ticket to Hawaii. It reminds me of there was like a bunch of films made of a certain era for a certain audience, and it was like Taking It Off to, and Taking It Off Out West, and that was like the three films this guy was known for. Oh, and the Bikini Car Wash Company.
Yes,
but it's like that's what the guy reminds me of. Andy
Sidaris.
It's like, okay, so you're just doing this to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it knows exactly what it is, and it's.
I guess the most you can say is at least he makes it fun.
Yeah, like I said, if you're gonna make schlocky shit like this, they do. The movie knows exactly what it is and does it. So fair enough. Fair enough. I would go with Good Bad. That's going to do it for this episode. As always, you can do us a giant favor by heading over to patreon.com/GBorBB. Support us there for a few bucks a month. Get access to stuff, including bonus content. You can head over to tpublic.com, search for Good Bad or Bad Bad or Quantum Physics, and buy some merch and support us with that way. I have a podcast called This Film Is Lit. We're talking about movies that are based on books. When this episode's out, I don't know because we're too far ahead. I'm not sure what our most recent episode will have been.
Check out Twitch.
Check out Twitch.tv. Occasionally we will stream, pretty rarely, but it does happen occasionally. We also have a Discord. All this information is down in the links below in the description.
All those cool things.
Yes, you can find all that stuff and more. Not more. Just that stuff, really. In the description below. Until next time, keep watching movies.
Especially Picasso Trigger.
It's good. I mean, it's fine. There's boobs in it.
Boobs and explosions.
What do you want? What do you want?
Boobs and explosions.
Shut up, nerd. There's boobs in it.